Hello, welcome back to Our Talks. Another week, another podcast. And have I got a good one for you this week? Uh, I'm recording this on Sunday. This will be out on Tuesday, as per schedule. Sometimes I meet the schedule, sometimes I don't. But on Friday this week, I went to go and see Tool for the first time ever. Now, Tool is, I suppose you could classify them as like a progressive rock band, kind of metal in a way, but not really. And from people that I heard before, that went to Tool, they all said the same thing, that they were incredibly, that it was just incredible because, they had, at the concert, it was in the Tree Arena in Dublin. At the start, when they started playing, they had this, I don't know, I think it was made of fiber optics, basically the same thing as internet cables that are buried in the ground. But it was kind of like a curtain that surrounded the stage, and then they were able to show projections on this curtain, the same projections that were shown on the back of the stage arena. And it was like, they had it was just an incredible performance. They had lasers, and they had all these light effects, and Tool played in two parts. They took like a 10-minute break, and then once they came back on, the curtain or the fiber optic cables, whatever it was pulled back, and the the band continued playing for another hour or so. I think it was about another hour and 20 minutes after that. But it was definitely one of the best concerts I've seen. It was also my first one in a very, very long time, other than, like I said, seeing Thunderslap perform, or one or two bands down in Fibbers. But it was just so incredible. I was in awe when I left the Tree Arena. We were standing outside talking with my friends. It was just a really brilliant, incredible performance. I've never seen anything like it. Although if there was shooting flames, it would have been kind of would have been on par with a Mona Mart performance when I seen them in King John's Castle down in Limerick. But it was just, even when I came out, I had no words for it. This is something you have to experience yourself. You can't really explain it with words. My computer was a bit something, I don't know. Yeah, something was happening there. What? I don't know. Usual computer antics. But yeah, it was just between the visual experience, the band playing, because I've heard Tool play. Like I've heard him obviously listen to music a lot, and it was just incredible. Like, words can't really describe it. They always say picture paints 1,000 words. Well, in that case, the Bean there would have painted 1,001 words, because it was like I still don't really have words for it now. It's just, like I said, just incredible. An amazing performance. Definitely will go see them live again. And it was great to get out to a big, huge concert venue. I think it was 15,000 capacity. I'm pretty sure it looked like most of it was filled. There wasn't that many spaces when I looked around the stage in the arena. So definitely, if you're a fan of rock and roll and progressive rock and alt rock, definitely go see them if they're coming to a town or city near you. And The other thing I want to talk about for today's episode is a movie I recently watched on YouTube. Actually, funnily enough, because it's on YouTube, there's several movies and you can find good ones sometimes. Now, this movie is called Metalhead. It's about a farming family, a dairy farming family from Iceland, who the like this girl's brother dies in a farming accident, and and she develops. It's basically the movie is about her and her family going through the grief of losing the parents, losing a child, and her losing a sibling. And because her brother was a metalhead, he liked listened to heavy metal. It goes through her life as she grows up into a teenager and she tries to find her own identity with metal and everything else. So definitely a brilliant movie. I'll put the link to the movie down below in the description. But I came across this movie just by chance. It was suggested to me by the YouTube algorithm. When I was actually uploading last week's video, funnily enough, so then Monday nights I sat down and I watched it. Well, I lay down and I watched it, but I mean, I was really blown away from it, because I've watched a couple of metal movies like Heavy Trip, Metal Lords, and this one is different because it deals with grief. It's kind of similar to Heavy Trip because it's kind of her town is fairly small in Iceland, so in the movie, she gets odd looks for being a metalhead from the local populace, similar to in Heavy Trip that the guys live in, I think they're Norway or Sweden, I can't remember exactly, but no one in town really liked them because they were outcasts and stuff like that. It's just an interesting take. I mean, Iceland's one of those countries that is really strange because it's in Europe, but it's so far from the mainland Europe. It's the northmost point of Europe. They're not in the EU because they don't need to be really, but it's just crazy. Like, I mean, Iceland was settled by the Vikings, thousands of years ago. Well, not thousands, but when the Vikings reigned supreme, they were settled. But yeah, it's definitely an incredible movie. I will, like I said, I'll put the link in the description to it. I presume it's in Icelandic, but there's English subtitles in that movie that I watched. But it was also kind of interesting to see, because like I said, Heavy Trip is based in Scandinavia, and then this movie is was shot in Iceland. Iceland has a very small population. I think it's about 300,000 people, and 60% of the population live in Reykjavik, which is the capital. But I would love to go visit one of the days because it's supposed to be pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's similar conditions to Siberia, because they're in the Arctic Circle. But yeah, so it's definitely an incredible movie. So to wrap up today's podcast, sitting in the dark, light on or off? It's sunny enough out today that it didn't really need light, but I suppose a bit more exposure. But yeah, so to round out the podcast, Tool was brilliant. If you got a chance, watch Metalheads, or Metalhead, not Heads. And Metalhead also is an old movie. It was released 2013, so this movie is 9 years old. It's not a new movie. Some of you may have seen it already, but I came across it randomly, and it's a brilliant experience. But yeah, so I will be doing Stitch's new material night Wednesday this week, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Like I said, I've been there before as a guest, quite a couple of times actually. So I will really be looking forward to that. And that after that, I have no more comedy gigs booked, so I'll be back to talking to bookers and saying, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" The old Oliver Twist. But in the meantime, like I said in my the last episode, I will be traveling down to trying to make it down to Cork and Sligo to do gigs. So see how that goes. This summer is gonna be fun for gigs and stuff because I've got. I'm gonna have to juggle between going to metal gigs and performing myself. So it's gonna be quite an interesting summer, and I plan to take a couple of days off and do as many comedy gigs in those 4 or 5 days as possible. So really looking forward to that. But I think that's it for this week's podcast. Tool was incredible. Watch Metalhead, and I shall catch you next week for another podcast. Thanks for listening. Oh, by the way, you can get this sticker as merch. If you want, just message me either on social media or you can email me, and they're $2.50 each. The postage and shipping included. So that's in euros, because I live in a country where we use euros. So thanks for listening. Thanks for all the support, and I'll catch you all next week. Goodbye.